Hey, what's up guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing an Appliancer deck. So I'm really excited for this one because this is the budget deck that actually came out of the Battles of Legend Armageddon not too long ago, and I've been playing around with it quite a lot recently because it's a really cute, neat deck. And guys, I want you to comment down below and tell me who actually played the Appliancer deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. Comment down below if you have seen Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains, and let me know who actually played this. And if you do, I will definitely give your comment a heart. So, without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below because we have some awesome rewards for you guys, like getting your name description for every single video, getting signed cards sent in the mail, or even getting requested deck profile just like this one, with test hands every single month that you are a patron. So, without further ado guys, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Appliancer Socket Roll. Appliancer Socket Roll is a really cool card that if you control an Appliancer monster, then you can special summon this card from your hand. And if another Appliancer Socket Roll is special summoned to your field while you control this monster, then you can special summon one Appliancer Socket Roll from your deck. So basically lets you summon all 3 of them to your side of the field. If you control one, you special summon the second one, and then the third one's like, hey, don't forget about me, and you get the third one out as well, which is pretty good. I like that effect. It's really neat. We then play 3 copies of Copy, which he is totally sticking his tongue out. And what this card does is you get to target one Appliancer monster you control, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, this card's name becomes that monster's name until the end phase of the turn. And then during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard to target an Appliancer monster you control, special summon a monster with the same name as that monster from your hand or graveyard. Really good effect to be able to just instantly swarm the board. This deck is all about swarming the board to get out your different Appliancer link monsters to be able to go into some crazy plays. We then play my favorite of all the artworks, and that is 3 copies of Breaker. This card is really cool, because during the damage calculation, if an Appliancer monster you control battles an opponent's monster, then you can discard this card, and then for that battle, that monster cannot be destroyed by battle, and you take no battle damage from that battle as well. If an Appliancer monster you control will be destroyed by a card effect, then you can banish this card from your graveyard instead, which is pretty good to be able to just protect all your Appliancer monsters by banishing this card, being able to turn off the destruction and be able to special summon this card from your hand, or being able to discard it from the graveyard to be able to protect all of your monsters from battle destruction as well. I then play 3 copies of 4-Mud Skipper. I know that seems like a lot, but this card comes in so handy in the deck, it's ridiculous, because during your main phase you can reveal a link monster, which I could reveal, like for instance, one of my Appliancer monsters, and then if you do this link, and then when you link summon this turn, you can treat this card as a material with the same name, type, and attribute as that monster. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, then you get to add a level 5 or higher Cyverse monster from your deck to your hand, which you're always going to add your copy of Parallel Xyz. But before we get into the Parallel Xyz effect, the reason that 4-Mud Skipper is at 3 in this deck is because you can normal summon out your 4-Mud Skipper and then use its effect to basically reveal any of your Appliancer monsters in the extra deck, because they all require Appliancers to be able to link summon into them. Like your copy of Appliancer Dryer Drake requires an Appliancer. All of them require Appliancers. So you basically say, this monster, 4-Mud Skipper, is the Appliancer Dryer Drake, and you link it away to summon your Laundry Dragon, and then you can link into it, which is pretty cool. And then you get a search of your Parallel Xyz. Now, Parallel Xyz combos right in with this card, because it has the ability that if this card is special summoned, if this card is special summoned by the effect of a Parallel Xyz, its level becomes 4, and the original attack of this card is halved. And then if you link summon, then you can special summon this card to a zone a link monster points to, which is really cool to be able to do, because if you use your copy of 4-Mud Skipper, and then you have a monster pointing anywhere down, then you can use the copy of your Parallel Xyz to special summon to your side of the field, which is really good. We then play a single copy of Codebreaker 0 Day. Codebreaker 0 Day is really insane for this deck to be able to summon your Codebreaker monsters from the extra deck to be able to essentially get you directly into an Access Code Talker, which was the really expensive card I was talking about earlier. But Access Code Talker is kind of necessary for this deck because it's just a really good card. This card has the ability that all link monsters pointing to this card lose 1,000 attack, except Codebreaker link monsters. And if a Codebreaker link monster is on the field, destroyed by battle or by card effect while this card is on the field, you destroy this card. And if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add a Codebreaker 0 Day from your deck to your hand. But you only play 1 because you have a quick combo that you can actually go into your copy of your Virus Swordsman and then go directly into your Codebreaker Berserker, and then it kind of upgrades into those, and you get both of them back on the field, so you can have all 3 at the same time. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom as well. The 3 Ash Blossoms basically just stop your opponent from doing all sorts of shenanigans against you while you're trying to go into your plays. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Upstart Goblin because, hey, a 39 card deck sounds pretty good to me. 1 copy of 1 for 1 because all of your Appliancers are level 1, which is really good for the deck. We play a single copy of Terraforming. The Terraforming is super helpful in the deck too because you're going to be searching your field spell, which is extremely important for you guys to get to. 1 copy of Monster Reborn. The Monster Reborn lets you extend your plays even further, which is super helpful. 1 copy of your Pot of Avarice. Pot of Avarice is really nice because sometimes you'll go through turns where like you'll use all 3 of your socket rolls, and you'll want to put them all 3 back in the deck so you can use them again, and you'll use this card to be able to put your one of Appliancer Link monsters back in the extra deck, put your socket rolls back in the main deck, and go from there. And it lets you draw 2 cards, which is pretty good. 1 copy of Appliancer Test. It lets you target an Appliancer Link monster you control and special summon as many level 1 Appliancer Link monsters from your graveyard as possible to zones that monster points to. So basically it's going to let you special summon 2 usually, because you're going to have your cell tops or celt tops on your side of the field, which is going to be really helpful to be able to summon to these 2 zones because it has effects when you special summon to those zones. We then play 3 copies of Appliancer Electronical World, which is really, really cool. When this card is activated, you get to add an Appliancer card from your deck to your hand, and then it also has except for the field spell. And then once per turn, if a Link monster, an Appliancer Link monster you control, is Link monster, you can add a Appliancer monster from your graveyard to your hand, and then once per turn, when a monster declares an attack, you can move 1 Appliancer monster you control to another main monster zone, which is really, really cool to be able to just move them. I like this effect, and the copy of the field spell is really, really, really necessary for this deck. We then play 3 copies of Appliancer Reuse, which I will tell you guys, you're going to be using Reuse a lot in this deck because it lets you target an Appliancer monster in your graveyard and special summon it, but place it on the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field, which is actually a really good effect to be able to put it back on the bottom of the deck so you can use it again later. It's really, really, really good. We then play 3 copies of Call by the Grave. The 3 copies of Call by the Grave kind of help you slow down your opponent and say, whoa, I'm trying to get from deck, I need to get something out of the deck. If they try and Ash Blossom you, it's really, really, really helpful. If they try and Effect Failure you or go in for a play that stops you with a hand trap, it's really, really pivotal to play 3 copies of Call by the Grave. 3 copies of Machine Duplication. All of your Appliancer monsters are machine monsters, which is really, really cool to be able to just machine dupe out all the other copies of that particular Appliancer monster to get it out on your side of the field so you can get some really insane plays. And then finally, for the last 3 spells, we're playing 3 copies of Where Arfdal. Where Arfdal is really cool because if you control a face-up level 1 monster, which you're usually going to control a level 1 monster because all of your Appliancers are level 1, that you can just instantly go ahead and add another Appliancer from deck to hand, which is usually going to be, if I don't already have socket roll, I'm going to search the socket roll and then special summon it to my side of the field, which is going to be really, really, really helpful. So that's it for the spells. Let's get into the one-of trap that I'm playing, and I will mention you guys that field spell is really important, so we're playing a single copy of Metaverse because you really want to get to the field spell as quickly as possible. You can set this card to your side of the field and then be able to get to your field spell even faster on your opponent's turn, which is going to help out quite a lot. So, that's it for the main deck. Let's get into the extra deck. So first off, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Appliancer Celtopsis. This card is really, really cool. I love Celtopsis. What it does is it lets you have to link in this card using 2 Appliancer monsters. In this card, link summon card, or this linked card cannot be destroyed by an opponent's card effect or by their monster's attacks. And then during damage calculation, when an Appliancer link monster you control is co-linked to this card, battles an opponent's monster, your battling monster gains 1,000 or gains attack equal to the number of monsters co-linked to this card times 1,000, which is usually going to be 2. And then during that damage calculation only, monsters are once per turn. If an Appliancer link monster you control that is not co-linked is destroyed by battle, then you get to draw a card as well. This card is really good to go into and put it on your side of the field. We then play 2 copies of Laundry Dragon. I will mention you guys the really cool thing about this is if they're co-linked they get an effect. If they're not co-linked they get a different effect, which is basically the entire gimmick of the main or the extra deck. What this card does is it cannot be used as link material for the turn it's link summon, which all of your level or your link 1s share that ability. And then also neither player can take any battle damage from attacks involving this card. And then once per turn, after damage calculation, if this card is co-linked, battles an opponent's monster, you can banish that opponent's monster. And then once per turn, after damage calculation, if this card if this monster is not co-linked and it battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy that opponent's monster, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of that monster as well. We play 2 copies of Vacuum Elephant. Vacuum Elephant is really good. Basically what this card does is when it's it can attack directly, and then while it's co-linked, and then you can send a card from your opponent, send a card from your hand to the graveyard, and then target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. And if this card is co-linked, then you can target one monster your opponent controls in the main monster zone and destroy it as well, which is really, really cool about this card. We play 1 copy of Kappa Scale. Kappa Scale is kind of neat because it lets you basically trade it in and out for your other copies of your Appliancers. Because if it's co-linked, then you can special summon an Appliancer link monster from your graveyard by tributing this card. And it also has the ability that you can tribute this card that's not co-linked, and then you get to special summon a level 4 or lower Appliancer monster from your graveyard. We'll play a single copy of Dryer Drake as well. Dryer Drake is pretty good in the deck too because it has a really, really, really neat effect that lets you, it cannot be used as link material to turn and summon. And then also once per turn during the battle phase, if this card's co-linked, then you can switch control, or you switch the locations of 2 of your Appliancer monsters in your monster zone, including this card. And if you do, the other monster can make a second attack during each battle phase. And then once per turn when this card is not co-linked, is targeted for an attack, you can negate the attack as well, which is pretty good, being able to just negate the attack and save the card. So that's it for the Appliancer extra deck monsters. For the other monsters we're playing a single copy of Access Code Talker. I will mention you guys, you're playing Fire, Water, Dark, and Dark over here, so you're playing 3 different attributes right there. So the copy of Access Code Talker is pretty pivotal to be able to play in the deck. 1 copy of Unicorn just to be able to bounce stuff. Phoenix to pop spells and traps, Cerberus to pop monsters, and for Access Code Talker. If I'm playing Access Code Talker and I'm not playing an Earth monster, I'm always going to play Cerberus, and you're going to play these 3 with your Access Code Talker. That's what I always refer to as the Access Code Talker package, is the Cerberus, the Phoenix, and the Unicorn. We play a single copy of Linkuriboh just because everything is level 1 in the deck just about. And then we play a single copy of Virus Berserker and a Virus Swordsman, which are really, really cool cards that can kind of get you into your Access Code Talker really fast. Because they have the ability that when this card is special summoned, if it's co-linked, then you special summon a 0 day from your hand deck or graveyard. So you special summon the 0 day from the graveyard, and then you link the Virus Swordsman together with your copy of your 0 day to go into Berserker. And then when you go into Berserker, when this card is special summoned, while it's co-linked, you can special summon 2 Code Breaker monsters from your hand or graveyard, which is your copy of Swordsman and your copy of 0 day from the graveyard. So you get all 3 of them on the field, which is really cool. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. It's a really, really, really fun deck to play around with. I highly recommend that you guys give this deck a try. It's very budget. The only thing that's expensive in the deck is the Access Code Talker, but you can play Borreload if you want to play Borreload. If you really want to play this deck, you can build the deck for very cheap. I think the most expensive card in the entire deck is Machine Duplication, and they're sitting at like $4 right now, but everything else is like dirt cheap. Maybe Ash Blossom at $8. I think that's the most expensive card, but the core of the deck, very, very cheap. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below because we have some awesome work for you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.